This is Carl Lewis. I am your host this week, and today we'll be taking a look at part one of a three-part series about new reporting options in SAP that is delivered on SAP's new database HANA, which is in memory. So several new things have been added, and we will introduce them one by one over the next 3 weeks. So our sessions will not be long, but each one of them will be an important new addition to take a quick look at. And here you will see that it doesn't look a whole lot different than versions that you have seen previously. And as always, remember that if you have questions, please type them in the question box, and I'll try to answer them as we go through today's session. One of the first things you'll probably notice is that there is something new called KPIs. So if you're familiar with the cockpit in SAP Business One, you'll notice that there's now a new widget that is called KPI widget. And in this KPI widget, there are a lot of things like this is my inventory turnover, and it's actually inventory turnover of the last 12 months. Here's my total payable amount, and this is the total payable amount this month. And here's my total sales amount this month, right? So I have a lot of other choices. So these number of different KPIs, when I go to settings, you'll see that there are, I don't know how many there are, 72 different KPIs, right? And you can actually create your own KPIs also, right? So any of these, you can bring the KPI widget onto the screen and you can utilize it. Now, one of the things that I want you to recognize about SAP HANA also is the speed of SAP HANA, because it is an in-memory database. To refresh, for instance, this particular 12-month sales graph, if I hit refresh, you'll notice that it is very fast, so much faster than what we're capable of doing in SQL, and that's because HANA is an in-memory database and much faster to read the actual data itself from the system. Other things that you can do, let's take a look at some other sections here regarding, we've got other cockpits. So there's a sales cockpit, and it's got some different things that can be done. There's a couple of different dashboards that are actually deployed here, and this one is delivery analysis, and another one is